everybody. My name is Hamish, this is Toby, and we're big boys from Year 8.
So, as you know, this week is Science Week, and we're here today to show you some of our favourite experiments. We can't wait to entertain you and to bring science to life. In the process, we might even teach your parents a thing or two.
So then, who loves science?
Me! Who loves experiments?
Me! Who is ready?
Me! But first, Hamish, we have to have some rules so that these experiments are the greatest, funniest and best ever. Rule number 1, you have to stay seated at all times. Even Hamish struggles with this one. Remember, this isn't a playground.
Rule number 2, when we count down from 3, you must all be sitting upright and as quiet as a mouse. Otherwise, the experiments may not be so amazing, and that would break Dr. Cialvi's little heart.
And fine, should we give it a go? So, who loves science?
Yay! 3, 2, 1.
And finally, rule 3 is listen carefully and most importantly, have fun today.
But there's one problem, Toby. You see, we can't do all the experiments by ourselves, so we may need some volunteers. I wonder where we can find them.
Here. Okay, if you want to be picked, then you have to sit still and just put your hand up when we ask for volunteers. And if you're lucky enough to get picked, not now, when we ask for volunteers, just put your hand up. So, if you're lucky enough to get picked, you'll get a pair of super stylish,
Super cool,
super amazing,
super important,
super powerful,
super brilliant science goggles. This week's Science Week theme is connections. Can you say connections?
Well done. Hey, what does connections mean to you?
An example of connections is when two Lego bricks come together to form a structure, like the bricks on our brand new sports hall. This is a real life example of connections. What about you, Toby? What does connections mean to you?
To me, connections is when people connect to each other by being kind or friendly or having a good time together, like having a high five. Why don't you try it? Give a high five to the person next to you and make a connection now.
3, 2, 1. What about you? Do any of you have an example of connections? Yes.
It's when two things join up together.
Yeah, like two bricks, as I explained earlier, come together to make a new structure or things. Everything in this room around us has come together to form a great new thing. Any other examples? Yes.
It's when someone like this together, like makes a connection.
Yeah, really interesting. Anyone else? Yes, you at the back.
So like a train does connect, but it also does have an ending, like everything else.
Yeah, all the parts of the train connect to one another to make it be able to move and function normally, and it's also connected to the tracks.
So, we will have to pass you on to Milo and Tom, who will be performing the first demonstration. I hope you have a great day exploring for wonders of science. Bye!
Wow, thank you Toby and Hamish. For our first experiment, we will be looking at the connections between objects and different forces acting on them. Forces are very important and they are all around us. You can't see forces, but you can see the effects of them.
For example, if I were to let go of this ball, it would fall to the floor. But does anybody know what force causes it to do this? Yes. Gravity, that's really good. That is correct. Did you know that without gravity, we would all just float off into space?
Yeah, I'm very thankful for gravity then, because I like being on Earth. Tell us more, Tom.
Okay, without the force of friction, we wouldn't be able to talk or walk.
I can listen to you all day, Tom.
Why can't we go?
So, for this experiment, we're going to be looking at something called inertia. Can you say inertia?
Inertia.
So, we've made these inertia hats from coat hangers and tennis balls.
For this experiment, we might need some volunteers. So sit still with your hand up and we might just pick you.
Go home.
Wow, look at that.
Okay, so, are these hats still or moving? Still. That's correct. Now watch what happens if we just give them a tiny push. They move forwards.
Buddy, you like that?
As you can see, the hats start to move because we have applied a force to them.
A force can be a push or a pull.
Now, the boys are going to spin.
Should I demonstrate? Should I do a quick demonstration?
On the count of 3, we're all going to spin around with the hats on our head. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, well done. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
As you can see, the hats start moving because there wasn't a force applied to it like when we moved it with our hands. How amazing and cool are forces and inertia?
Really cool.
Can you say inertia?
Inertia.
We're going to finish off with an epic science joke.
What kind of tea can you not drink in space?
Every.
Yes?
Coffee.
Yes?
Coffee.
It's actually gravity.
Hi, I'm Mason. Who's ready for the next experiment?
Excellent! We will be doing an experiment about eggs, and it's also inertia. Speaking of eggs, let's open up break, because we don't want scrambled eggs.
The aim for this experiment is to get the egg into the beaker. Does anyone know how you could do this? That's very interesting. But there's another way. By hitting the plate.
By hitting the plate, we apply force. Why don't we try this now? Let's have a countdown. 3, 2, 1.
How cool was that? Who's ready for the biggest battle of all time? Teachers v parents.
Not only is your reputation on the line, but you're playing for the coveted, the notorious egg trophy.
It's okay, it's okay. Boys, carry on.
Hands up if the teachers will win.
Of course we will! Hands up if the parents will win.
Right. Shall we put that to the test? Let's have a countdown. 3, 2, 1.
remember from the beginning.
For the next exciting activity, we are going to test how old your ears.
We can test this by playing sounds at different frequencies. A frequency is how high or low the sound is. An example of a high frequency is violin. An example of a low frequency is a double bass.
But first, we're going to hand out some items to make sounds at different frequencies. So we may need some volunteers. Things to make sounds. These ones, you hold them by this end and then swirl them over your head. With these, you kind of spin them around, and with these, the ear aids will blow them. Everybody ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Spin it, spin it. Nice. Come on, dear mates.
Just put your stuff on the floor. We'll put down what they're holding.
Round of applause for this one.
So I'm sure you're all wondering how sounds are actually made. So I will give you time to give you a brief explanation. Sounds are made when objects vibrate. So what do you think vibrates when we play the violin?
The strings.
Correct. It is a string.
So, basically what happens is the string vibrates, and then the string hits the air, and then the air vibrates, and that's what you hear a sound.
On a graph, the sound you see in sound waves. If there are lots of sound waves, it is a high frequency, and if there are a few sound waves, it is a low frequency. Can you show me a high frequency?
Very
And a
good.
low frequency? Correct. Oh, and then up. So now we're going to test your ears. And for this to work, we want you to sit still and be silent. Toby will play sound using this iPad, and if you can hear it, put your hand up.
When you can't hear it anymore, just put your hand down, because we will increase the frequency of the sound. The parents and the staff have to join in too. And so we'll try to make sure to see whether or not which people can hear which sounds. So we all need to be completely honest. Let's start off with a quite low frequency. Everyone should be able to hear this. Then, now we will go slightly higher. Now, very slightly higher, we're going 11,000 hertz. So we've just played 12,000 hertz, and if you look around, then you can see some parents have put their hands down. We will play 13,000 hertz. Now, even higher, 14,000. So now we're about to play 15,000 hertz. And now we're going to play 16,000 hertz.
You're still in your 30s, that's okay.
Now we're going to play 17,000 hertz. Your ears are under 24 if you can hear this. It's interesting how some people have put their hands up, even though I didn't press the button.
Now we will actually make sound.
Finally, we are going to play 19,000 listening to us. You have really good ears if you can hear this. There. You can't hear it.
Thank you for watching our experiment. And now we'll hand you over to George, Greg and Hamish.
2, 1. Hello everybody, my name is Hamish. This is Greg, hello. This is George, and today we will be showing you the 4-chair trick.
Another good example of connection is between people, like police officers working together to keep us safe, or teachers working together to keep us educated, or parents working together to give us the best start to our lives.
Another good example is the invention of medicines to prevent us from disease, such as the COVID vaccines. This is where biologists, chemists and chemical engineers came together to work as a team to make a vaccine so we could get back to normal life. They had to connect with each other so that they could problem solve and to get this vaccine up and running. This is another real life of a connection. Hands up if you like working with other people. Amazing! Now then, although this trick is called the 4-chair trick, we are now going to need some extra help. So as you can see, there are some more talented Year 8s on the stage so that they can perform this 4-chair trick. We're now going to have a little competition to see who can stand up the longest. The aim of the game is to be freestanding for as long as you can without the chairs. We're going to have a competition, so we need your opinions on who is going to win. So, if you think Team 1 is going to win, make as much noise as possible.
Now, make some noise if you think Team 2 is going to win.
3, 2, 1.
So then, are we all ready?
Now, can all the Year 8s lean back and get in position? Are we ready?
Yeah.
Countdown. 3, 2, 1, go! Well done, Team 1, the champions, and thank you to everyone else who took part. The boys had to make connections to each other and support each other so that everyone could succeed.
What made it easier is that Team 2 had everyone, no, Team 1, had everyone roughly the same size and weight, which makes it easier to support each other.
This is because if there was a big weight difference, some people would start to feel the strain and then they would go down very quickly. Other than this, it requires lots of muscle.
Did everybody enjoy that?
I'm glad you did. And we are now going to pass you on to George, Henry and Mason. Have a good day. Hello, I'm George, this is Mason and this is Henry. For our next exciting experiment, we're going to be burning some chemicals. Now, this is quite dangerous, so don't try this at home. And as we're not trained professionals, we're going to have Dr. Sialbi and Mrs. West help us. This experiment is called the whoosh bottle experiment. This is because it produces a wide range of colours and also sounds. We will pour some alcohol into the large water bottle, then we'll roll it around so that it evaporates and turns into a gas. The reason we are doing this is so that it evaporates more easily and will put on an even better display.
Then, after that, Dr. Sialbi and Mrs. West are going to set the gas on fire, and we'll see what happens.
We'll all see what they see.
But you can see it's still quite a lot of liquid, so we're agitating. We've just got to keep going until we know that it's mostly vapor, okay?
Let's have a clap then while we're doing this.
So is everyone ready?
Actually, I'll do it on the table.
Let's have a countdown. 3, 2, 1.
This experiment is possible because ethanol, the chemical we used, is a flammable liquid. Then, when it is a gas, it produces brilliant display.
Did everyone enjoy that? Yeah! Who wants to see it again?
This time, we're going to mix it up a bit and put it on the floor and see what happens.
Everybody must stay seated for this, okay? So you should be able to step back, boys.
Let's have a countdown. 3, 2, 1.
For our finale, we're going to pass on to George and Greg.
Hello everybody, I am Greg.
And I'm George again.
And today we are going to blow your mind by using gas. George, can you give us an example of a gas?
Oxygen. It's a really useful gas which we need to survive. This because we breathe it in and out.
What do you think of a gas, Greg?
Your opinion is very interesting, but I would choose air. Air is a mixture of lots of different gases, including oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen. But today, we are using a different gas, which is really cool, because we are doing the methane bubble experiment.
Methane is a very flammable gas, so this experiment's going to involve fire.
This means do not try this at home. Dun, dun, dun.
As we are not trained professionals at this, we might have to invite Dr. Cialvi again.
First, we will need Dr. Cialvi to put some of these methane bubbles in his hands.
And then we are going to set the bubbles on fire.
Are we ready? Is everybody ready?
I can't hear you! 3, 2, 1.
Wow, that was cool.
Basically, what happened was, when Mrs. West set the bubbles on fire, all of the heat rose and none of it touched his hands.
Does anyone want to do it again? Yeah! One more time.
3, 2. Oh wait, no. Technical issue.
3, 2, 1. know we did it in front of you here. Still, do not try this at home.
Thank you for listening to us all speak. But we have one final question.
Did everybody enjoy this?
Now we would like to hand you over to Mrs. Baxter to conclude the assembly.
Well, first of all, I would just like to say, Year 8, that was absolutely fantastic. Well done. I am a little disappointed with you though, because you have proved how old I am. I could hear virtually none of those sounds. But I also have a favour to ask. Do you think you could please make me around about 100 of these? Because I have never seen the pre-prep boys quite so still as they were when they had these on their heads. So I think I might also be employing you boys as science teachers for pre-prep, because with all the work that Dr. Cialvi and Mrs. West did today to set all your experiments up, and all these amazing things that the boys have shown you today, I am sure we are going to have no shortage of boys who are desperate to pursue science activities in the future. So that is amazing. So thank you to all the staff that helped you and to all the boys for demonstrating such amazing experiments. I have learned so much, so thank you, and I'm sure the boys have too. Let's give them a big hand.